Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 2,500 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you. Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by OmahaSteaks.com.
What is going on? Welcome back to Tomahawk'd. I am your host, Rob Fox, joined, as always, by Dan Holloway. We're here to talk some Braves baseball. Some sort of exciting news last night. Up and down. It was exciting before the game, less exciting after the game. But Spencer Strider is back on the team. Started the game last night against the Nats. Didn't go great.
No, he looked terrible. You know, but I like to look into the individual at-bats and see how they went. The fastball starting out, it was in the mid-90s, so I don't know if his arm's not in shape. Which will make sense, right?
Two things with that, actually, that I'll just give you this quote real quick from Spencer Strider. So the velo was a little down.
It was down 3-4 miles per hour.
Yeah.
That's not a little.
Yeah, it's down a lot. And they asked him about that after he threw a simulated game the other day before this game. He did not have a rehab start for this injury.
I mean, he was only out 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Technically, right?
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't an arm injury either. So it was his knee or some shit, right?
I forget.
Or his calf. I don't remember what it was.
But he said in the simulated game he threw the other day, where the velo was also down, he said he was more focused on off speed than velocity, and said, quote, "I can rip it if I want."
Okay, well, he didn't at any point in this game. The fastest pitch he threw in this game was 96, which is 3-4 miles per hour below his normal fastest pitch.
Yeah, he's normally hanging 99, 100 throughout the game.
He also got rocked and did not have command of the strike zone. So that's a weird thing to say afterwards, to be honest.
He didn't. He said it after the simulated game.
I see.
Yeah, he did not. He didn't say that after the game against the Nats. No, didn't pitch well. Only one walk, which is nice. But 4.1 innings pitched. Only 3 strikeouts. 4 earned runs, and yeah, the velo was down. Obviously not concerned yet because he really hasn't even begun his season for the most part. He had a start, was late to the roster, right? Was not on the opening day roster. Had one start, had a minor injury, had to take another couple weeks off. Has another start coming off that injury, so we haven't seen a fully stretched out Spencer Strider yet, I would say. So I'm not hitting the panic button yet, but certainly if he can't get it going the way we need to get him going, then the fact that there probably isn't a bat to be gotten anywhere would even further lead me to believe that they're going to have to go find another starting pitcher just to increase the strength if you can't improve a weekness, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, certainly he'll be fine. He's young. His arm's in good shape.
And he's not a thrower. You know what I mean? Like, he's a cerebral guy.
He wants to be.
He studies the game. Like, he is a hard worker, like in the film room or whatever. Like, he thinks about it. So it's not like he's just been getting by on talent and stuff like that. I guess the only thing you could say is just like, you know, up to this point in his career, the mantra seems to be mostly like, don't overthink it. Like, he does do his homework, but at the same time, when you have stuff like that in the past, don't overthink. What is there?
I mean, I don't know why he's like, certainly changing speeds is good. If he wants to throw the sweeper, slider, whatever, that's a good pitch. But you locate that off of the high fastball, right? That's the tunnel for that, because or it's the inside fastball to a right-hander. or outside for that matter. It doesn't matter, but it tunnels out of that same place. He doesn't need to pitch low.
Right.
Right. So, you watched that Maddox documentary, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
He was saying that he won't even throw a changeup unless he's located a low fastball already.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. Okay, good.
It's just a slow ball at that point.
Strider shouldn't be concerned about off-speed pitches. He should be concerned about perfecting throwing the ball hand level, right?
Yeah.
Just above the strike zone. That's where if he can locate there all the time, then he is an unhittable pitcher. His breaking pitches can hang right over the plate, and he will still strike people out.
Right.
Right? Because there's you have to lay off that pitch. You either have to be disciplined and lay off that pitch, or he will strike out everybody in that. So you just keep throwing that pitch in that same location and people until they stop swinging, and then you fucking break a slider off the next pitch.
Yeah.
And they're done.
What do you think would be... So the velocity's not where you want it right now. I guess let's take like worst case scenario, and maybe this is realistic actually, and he doesn't get back up to that 99, 100 mile an hour level, right? Just because of the arm injury and stuff like that. Maybe it's taken. Can he survive doing what he does on 97? I mean, that's 2 to 3 miles an hour less than what he was throwing, 2 years ago.
Yeah, Maddox told me when I was a child, actually, at a spring training game, never sacrifice velocity for location.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Maybe that was just advice to a young guy.
Or location for velocity?
Nope.
Never sacrifice velocity for location.
He said don't throw slower than you normally would just to hit a spot.
Okay.
Because that's not, you should be trying to work yourself into that spot, not trying to change your mechanics. Because throwing slower than you normally would changes your mechanics, and it's going to lead to arm injuries down the road, which is not smart either. So, yeah, I think for Spencer, certainly like just whatever you feel loose throwing, is probably 97, I would think, for him.
Yeah.
In that range, 95 to 97. Yeah, you should stay there. And then crank it up when you need to. Being able to change speeds and throw multiple versions of your own fastball is a skill that some of the greatest pitchers, especially in modern history, have had. Maddox is one of them, although he threw slower. But if you're talking about guys with more velocity, Pedro and Kurt Schilling did that. Yeah. They had like 3 different versions of not cutters and shit like that, but just their fastball. They had different versions of it. They threw it at different hitters.
Imagine Clemens did that as well.
Yeah, certainly. And he had a splitter too. So if you can throw 2-3 versions of your fastball plus a splitter, good fucking luck hitting that guy. Right. Which is one of the reasons he was so dominant over the years. And Strider's a smart guy. He'll figure this out. Yeah. I think he's fucking around with it right now because I think he wants to take the next step in his career, even though he almost won a fucking Cy Young. Right. But he wants to take that next step and go from thrower to pitcher. Yeah. And he's got the talent and the brain to be able to do it. I think he'll be fine.
Like I said, he has a pitcher's mind, but I don't think he's really had to use it a ton. I mean, obviously you're at the major leagues. Everyone, even if you're throwing like him, you've got to think. But he hasn't had to put as much, I think, strain on the mental side of his game yet. I think this is the first time maybe ever because, when he didn't pitch a ton at Clemson because he was hurt there too, but when you're throwing that gas in college, like what the fuck do you even have to do other than throw strikes, right? Like there's just nothing you can.
I mean, he really only pitched the one full season in college.
Yeah.
So he's he's cerebral guy. Everybody's always kind of, I guess, there are these fantasies that we've had in baseball. One of them was, what if, when I was growing up and during the chase as well, what if Mark McGwire really got a hold of a Randy Johnson fastball, and he did one time and hit it like 530 feet? Yeah. I don't know if you remember that. I think was it in the Sky Dome? I don't remember. I think it was. He just crushed it. Or maybe it was in Oakland.
Was it when he was still in Oakland? Yeah. I mean, they would have played all the time back then, yeah.
I think it was, but it could have been. I don't remember. But that's been a fantasy, what would happen if that. And then one of the big ones was, what would happen if a guy with Maddox's brain threw in the high 90s? Right. And I think Strider's probably got that kind of potential. Nobody's going to ever be as good. Maddox is the best baseball pitcher that has ever existed and probably will ever exist.
Yeah, I don't think
you're just not going to find because part of it is because an autistic kid these days is not going to grow up being a baseball player. Yeah. They're going to do something else. Yeah. He just happened to live in the perfect time in human history to do this shit.
Right.
So there probably won't ever be anybody as good as him.
And he did still, despite the fact that he didn't throw hard, he still had one elite sort of athletic component to him, which was, I guess, like hand-eye.
Yeah, fielding in general.
Because, I mean, that fielding, but then also just the location was,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, he's an elite dude. So Spencer probably won't have that. I mean, I don't know anybody that ever has. Although, remember, Maddox's first 2 years in the majors were not great.
No.
Like, he had a 4.5. I think he had a 5 ERA in his rookie season, got sent down, came back, and had a 4 ERA the next year. And then, I think
he was a high prospect the whole time.
I think then 90, 91, he was good, and 92 goes to the Braves.
Yes. 93 went to the Braves. He won his first Cy Young in Chicago in 92.
That's right. Yeah, 92. Yeah. So it took him a little bit to figure it out, too. And because of the injury, Strider's had about the same amount of time in the major leagues that Maddox had before he figured it out.
Yeah.
And he's already had quite a bit of success. So I think there's definitely a bright future for him.
And he is 26, I think.
26, yeah.
Yeah, so still fairly young. I mean, with a pitcher, we always like to say that the peak is usually a little later than a hitter, or at like the prime years. So hopefully they can get. He signed an 8-year contract, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
So we have him through his age 32 season.
Yeah.
So plenty of time. I think he'll get back to the point where he'll be pretty effective this year. I'm not, just because I can't do that to myself, I'm not going to hold my fucking breath for 2022 Spencer Strider. Like, I just can't. I can't bring myself to do that. But yeah, I'm excited to see how he adapts to this. That'll be an interesting storyline to watch him not throw 100 and see if he's a pitcher, not just a thrower. Even though I do think he has the mind of a pitcher, he just, like I said, he hasn't had to use it yet. I'm not concerned about his velocity yet. In fact, I wouldn't even be concerned about him if his velocity was at 95. I would be more concerned about his inability to adapt to that. Because 95 is still fucking great. The best pitcher in baseball right now is Max Fried. He throws 94.
Yeah.
And what does Wheeler usually top out at, like 96?
97.
Yeah, about 96, 97.
Okay, yeah. So
he lives there. He doesn't. It's very rare. Every now and again, you'll see him throw in the high 90s, but he doesn't. I don't think he tries to do that. To be honest.
No, I don't think so either. He's very effortless velocity. Like, you don't ever think Wheeler's throwing hard, right?
He's got a very fluid motion.
Yeah.
Which is, it can be deceptive. There have been guys like that before. I don't think Strider's one of those dudes.
Yeah.
I think he's so, like, the velocity that he has is so intimidating that you already know about it walking into the plate. Doesn't matter. He's not like Nolan Ryan. He's only 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan was 6'3", big Texan, fucking
good old boy,
staring fucking daggers through everybody,
right?
Even the umpires.
Spencer Strider, God love him. He basically screams, because he is like, he's a cul-de-sac kid that grew up playing travel ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's who Spencer Strider is.
Yeah. But still throws 100. So
right, exactly.
He's got tree trunk legs.
Oh,
he's
the legs.
got.
Don't get me wrong. By the way, I was watching the Royals-Giants game last night, and I had not watched Lorenzen pitch before for the Royals, but that dude looks like a safety. His arms, his biceps are goddamn. I have never seen a pitcher look like that in my life. Like, he's in the wrong sport. He's a good pitcher, but I was just like giggling to myself. You know who he's built like? Who's that dude for the fucking Cardinals and Reds?
Oh, Tyler O'Neill?
Yeah. He looks like Tyler O'Neill.
Or Gabe Kapler.
Yeah.
Remember that dude?
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he was even able to swing a baseball bat with those goddamn ham hock arms he had. Jesus Christ. I think Gabe Kapler might be the most physically in shape person. He's got to be in the top 10. Julio Franco was going to be one. Mickey Mantle would have been one. Back in the day, Lou Gehrig would have been one. Willie Mays.
Gehrig was pretty jacked.
Gehrig was huge. Especially compared to the plumbers that he was playing against. He looked like an Adonis.
The fucking dumpy ass.
That's why God had to take him out.
Yeah.
He was too afraid.
He couldn't.
It's like, we can't let this guy get any stronger.
Can you imagine that man wielding a battle axe on Omaha Beach?
Yeah.
It just wasn't fair.
That would have been something to see. I don't think he fought in World War I either, did he?
No, he was too young for World War I.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true. I think he was... What year did he come up, 22 or 23?
Yeah, something like that. He was definitely interwar.
I think it was 23.
He was in his prime years interwar.
Yeah, he would have been... He would have been 16 when the war ended.
I mean, look, plenty of 15-year-olds fought in that war. I don't know why he felt the need to sit it out. Feels pretty cowardly, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, that's another reason God took him out.
But yeah, I'm not worried about Strider overall. So it is what it is. We'll see how he adapts. It'll be a fascinating thing to see because I'm rooting for him. I love him. Next up, some interesting stuff from the Braves offense. Olson finally getting hot. 3 homers in his last 4 games. And he's had a great May so far. He's played 18 games in May, 17 hits in those 18 games, 10 runs scored, 11 RBI, 132 WRC plus. The OPS is 871, which is buoyed almost entirely by his slugging percentage, which is 559.
Yeah, his OBP is like 310 or something.
It's bad. He's only had 7 walks and a 32% strikeout rate.
Which is odd for him. He usually walks quite a bit.
He's much better. His on-base skills are much better than that. I mean, he's not a 400 on-base guy, but I mean, you should be able to expect I feel like 360 out of him, something like that, and he's just not there right now at fucking all. But the power's back, which will open up other things, right? People will be more hesitant to throw to him.
Yeah. Olson's always been, I hesitate to say a streaky hitter because it doesn't come and go. It just takes him a minute sometimes to get locked in, and then once he's locked in, it's usually for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Whatever point he gets locked in, it's just like, all right, here we fucking go.
I mean,
he'll hit like 8 home runs in the first 2 months and finish with 40 on a pretty regular basis in his career.
Yeah. And by the way, so his May has been bad on base-wise, but for the year it's 351. So
maybe he's just swinging a little bit more freely now.
Yeah, that might be it.
He's also striking out way more this month than other months.
Yeah.
Like he's last month 20 strikeouts and 93 at bats. So far this month, 25 strikeouts and 68 at bats.
Although, you know what's interesting about Olson? So Olson has had this thing where people have kind of said, oh, he's great every other year. And it's actually true. If you look at his numbers, it's crazy. So in 2019, he had a 135 WRC plus, 36 homers. His strikeout rate that year was 25%. Or I'm sorry, his walk rate that year was 9%. 2020, doesn't matter. Didn't have a great year, but it was like 30 games, 60 games, whatever. 2021 has a great year. That's the year that basically cemented the Braves wanting to bring him over. 13% strikeout rate, 147 WRC plus. 2022, first year with the Braves, had a fine year, but not that great. Certainly not as good as the years that sandwiched it.
Yeah.
Only a 10% strikeout rate, or walk rate. His walk rate basically correlates to every good year, and he is at the walk rate percentage that he's at when he has good years this year. He's at 14.4, which he had 2 years ago when he finished 4th in MVP, and 4 years ago when he had a great year with Oakland, 39 homers, 147 WRC plus. So it looks like he's getting it on track. I think you're right. I think he's swinging a little more freely, and if it translates to home runs, then I think that again reopens up everything else. Does it feel like Olson's been a weird situation with me where it does just feel like a matter of time with him, not that he's just like falling off a cliff, that he got bad all of a sudden. So Olson I'm encouraged by, and Drake Baldwin I'm not encouraged by, although it has nothing to do with his goddamn numbers.
No, it's why the fuck is he not in the lineup every day?
Since April 3rd, so basically since the start of the season, he leads the league in slugging percentage, but he's not at the top of the leaderboards because he hasn't qualified, because he only has 32 fucking plate appearances. For May, he has 32 plate appearances. He's been worth 1 full win above replacement in May.
And 32 plate appearances.
In 32 fucking plate appearances.
983 OPS for the year. And, who knows? Maybe the scouting team sees a gap in his capability that other teams haven't figured out yet.
Right.
And they're trying not to overexpose him. That's possible, but fuck that. He's a high performer. You put him out there and let him fail. And fail his way back into success. That's how you should handle that situation.
Well, and the other thing with that, too, is that he plays a premium position, and he's excellent defensively at that premium position. So even if he's not giving you the ABs you want every single night or whatever, he's still adding value to that team. The reason, I mean, the hitting, obviously, but the reason he's been worth one full win in May is also because he's an incredible defensive catcher. Like, you don't put up that much unless you're doing Shohei Ohtani shit or you're also great defensively. And he's great defensively. I mean, I love watching him throw out runners now. Usually I'm kind of like, whatever, but it's getting to the point where, I mean, it's a show when he pops up. Like, he is making absolute darts to second base.
Yeah, and then in big situations, too. And then hitting in big situations. Like, he's had 2 walk-off hits in May, I believe.
At least one. I think you might be 2. I think you might be right. I mean, but he's just producing everywhere. And I don't know. And, like, Murphy hasn't had a great month. I think he's hitting under 200 for the month. And it gets to a point, I mean, what hurts Sean Murphy's value more? Like, trotting him out there and him being bad, or keeping him on the bench and people being like, what's up with your boy?
Yeah.
We're not giving you something awesome for that. You won't even play him.
Yeah, well, I mean, Murphy will hit his way out of it. I'm not worried about that. And he's even, if it comes down to a trade situation, not worried about his value because he's also an elite defender. So,
yeah, he is.
Like framer and thrower.
Yes.
He's
his
really
defensive value alone, especially if you get him over to a pitching staff that needs some guidance, some professionalism behind the plate that maybe doesn't have it right now. I don't know who that would be off the top of my head because, like, you know, the Orioles pitching's ass, but they have a great catcher, and Seattle has great pitching, but they don't need a boost on behind the plate because I forget their catcher's name, but he always hits a million home runs. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see who would be interested in taking him. But, I mean, the numbers with Baldwin are just – it almost gets to the point – it's weird, but it gets to the point where I'm, like, disappointed when I see Sean Murphy behind the plate for a game.
Well, it's
just because I want to watch Drake Baldwin.
Yeah, I mean, so Baldwin's average exit velo is 93.5. His hard hit rate is 61.4%. That's fucking high.
Yeah.
That's really – 61% is really high.
I feel like he swings a pretty big bat.
Yeah.
Like, he makes great contact, and I just got to see him play. At least they have to split it 50-50.
I mean, I think maybe another option is Ozuna, moving him out and putting Murphy into the DH role and flip-flopping those two guys.
Yeah.
But he's on an expiring contract, so there's no real value there.
Yeah, there's more. And, I mean, he's still been our best hitter throughout the year also. I mean, Baldwin's been great, but Ozuna is still
well, there's also putting Ozuna in left sometimes. Whatever we lose defensively there.
Yeah.
I just think there's no way you can
keep
him on the bench. It doesn't make sense.
I agree. I know Ozuna is. I mean, maybe just put Murphy in left. Maybe that'd be a better defensive option than
or Baldwin.
Yeah.
Does he play the outfield? I don't know.
I mean,
he's
Murphy,
a fucking athlete. I know that.
Baldwin's feels like he's bulkier than Murphy. Like Murphy feels more spry. Like he could move around in the outfield better. I don't know if that's true or not.
Who knows?
But Ozuna out there is an abomination. Like, just get someone from the crowd to do it. And get about the same. I
mean, really, you're just trying to get, like, his only job if he's in left is to stop the ball from rolling all the way to the wall. That's it. Just like you're the best option for left field in Little League.
Yeah.
Before the All-Star stuff starts.
Yeah. But Ozuna's been great throughout. Ozuna's numbers have dropped a little bit, but I mean he
always bounces back.
Yeah.
And for Baldwin, his launch angle is super low right now. I don't know if that's something that they're working on flight path wise.
I don't care as long as he's hitting. I'm kind of out on launch angle at this point, where it's just like, yeah, man, I know we want home runs and shit like that, but just get dudes on fucking base. Like,
I mean, it's not super low. It's 9.5 or so, which is that's not terribly low if you average out the pop-ups and the ground balls. It's not super low, but I would want it to be for a guy that has the power that he has. You may want to get it up a little bit, but hard hit rate of 61.5, you can't really argue with that.
No,
just kind of let him roll.
It's working right now. Don't make an adjustment till you have to, I guess. I mean, right? With that, would you if you were succeeding, if you were doing well, but there was something you could be doing better, like in the margins, would you want someone to tinker with you while you were absolutely raking, or would you want to wait until...
Well, baseball players are fucking so both habitual and superstitious that I don't think anybody would be super happy about getting fucked with in the middle of a streak.
Right?
For sure. So,
yeah.
These guys are crazy. They don't want to be spoken to when they're having a good game, for Christ's sake. So, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I think you kind of not let the bottom fall out, but you let things cool off before you start going in there and making adjustments. Even if you see an adjustment needs to be made, like, oh, God forbid he hits a roping double instead of a fucking home run.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's literally a situation where, you know, you need the home run because, I don't know, like Michael Harris is up next and, you know, that's probably an out or something like that. And
yep.
Yeah, it is what it is. Austin Riley, also been good in May, 111 WRC plus. It seems to me right now that the Braves lineup has 4 legitimately consistent bats. The rest of the lineup has ups and downs. Verdugo's fallen to earth. Our little super soldiers in Nick Allen and, oh my God, I always forget the guy, Eli White. Yeah, they're kind of coming back to earth a little bit, but there's 4 bats right now. Acuna should be back end of the month. Like he'll be back in May, certainly. I don't know what day, but he'll be back in May. So that gives us 5 bats. I mean, one would think, and then maybe 6 if you find a way to get Riley. Find a way to get Murphy and Baldwin in the lineup at the same time. I mean, do you think that rising tide will lift the other boats? Forget, you know, getting both the catchers in the lineup, but just you got to think at some point there'll be the more pressure that is put on a pitcher, the more things will open up for the other guys in the lineup, specifically Harris and Albies.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes get made in those situations, so certainly. They like Harris has got to figure something out. It's been a couple years now, and he had a good call-up in 22. He had a good season in 23, and since then it's been very poor.
Yeah.
Like for 2 straight seasons, basically, it's been poor performance. He had a couple of flashes last year, but you can't have...
He's had a couple flashes this year. He's had some big hits.
Yeah, some big hits, but not streaks, really.
Yes.
304 on-base percentage last year, 259 this year. 259 OBP, I bench that guy if he's not in center field playing elite defense.
Yeah, that's fucking bad.
Anybody else in the lineup, if it was any other position other than maybe shortstop, he's benched.
Yeah, or catcher.
Or
just up the middle.
Maybe catcher, yeah. These days, catchers can hit, but...
That was another funny thing about, speaking of hitting catchers, watching the Royals game last night, I was watching Lorenzen pitch to fucking Salvi Perez, who is just like the shape of the things he sits on at this point.
Yeah, he's something else, that guy.
I love him, but he is just...
He can still hit.
He is just a fat bastard.
I mean, he's not a terrible defensive catcher either.
No, he's excellent. He's an excellent defensive catcher.
Framer, I don't know how good his arm is.
He used to be better. I think his arm's still strong. I don't know. That body's hard to pop. The pop time almost certainly has to have decreased just based on the weight gain.
Yeah, so Harris's exit velo has gone down each of the last 3 seasons. His hard hit rate gone down each of the last 3 seasons. He's getting worse.
Yeah. He's been figured out and hasn't figured out how they figured him out.
Yeah. I mean, but everybody knows it. He can't. He's not picking up the ball at all.
Yeah.
So that how many times have you seen him swing at a pitch 6 inches off the plate outside of just a fastball, no movement, just a straight fastball 6 inches outside because he can't tell the difference between that and a slider. That means he's not seeing the spin on the ball.
It does seem with him like he is fooled out of the gate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost to the point where it's like, is he even not seeing it, or is he just like guessing wrong all the time? You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like he is prioritizing the type of pitch he wants to hit. He's almost just like playing the reflex game. You know what I mean? He just sees it, and he's trying to react to it, and obviously it doesn't work out well when the ball's sliding. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like a good pitch. It looks like it might hit the corner, and he's trying to reach out there and slap it, and then the next thing you know, it lands in the dirt. In the right-handed batter's box.
I mean, he would be better off going up there without a plan at all and just letting his brain and body react. But
I think that's what he's doing.
no, I don't think so. I think he's up there thinking. I think he's guessing.
I'm just guessing badly.
That's what happens when a guy's overmatched. You guess to try to level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah.
But in reality, you should be doing what I said last week, which is do this drill where you start the pitching machine, high velocity, move it closer, 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 right? And then there's another drill where you can paint the laces on the ball, seams on the ball, different colors, and just play catch with somebody.
Yeah.
And you just catch the ball and call out the color when you see it and throw it back to them.
Yeah.
Catch the ball, throw it back to them. All you do is play catch. You don't have to throw hard or anything like that. You just catch the ball, call out the color. That's a really good one to start picking up the seams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, he either can do it or he can't. He's either going to be a mediocre baseball player or a good one.
Have they ever done an exercise where, similar to what you're saying, but you just paint the seams white so you can't see the seams at all and play catch with it, and then you go back to hit with balls that have seams, and now maybe the seams
that would
seem
help.
more pronounced than they did?
That could help too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know of a drill like that, but that might be something. I mean, we used to take so my high school baseball coach was just really good. Was a high performing college and minor league ball player himself, and anytime anybody threw a bullpen, any of our pitchers threw a bullpen, there would be a hitter standing there always.
Yeah.
Just for both of their sake, right? Like the hitter's just, obviously he's not swinging, doesn't even have a bat sometimes, but he's just sitting there watching the ball go through, just seeing the ball all the time, noticing little quirks. Like your brain picks up shit that you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Different arm angles mean different things. The guy fumbling around in his glove a little bit means something. All these little data points mean something different. And, man, at the professional level, these guys, look, it's harder to hit than ever, I think.
Certainly.
Like it has to be, right?
Yeah, unless you're Aaron Judge.
Yeah, well, unless you're getting fed juiced baseballs. Opinion, not a fact. But the movement, the velocity, tunneling out of different arm slots and stuff like that is, I don't think, it's certainly not getting any easier. But again, you can either do it or you can't.
Yeah.
And
getting paid enough money.
I think that Harris is getting paid enough money where he's got to do better.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I'm excited to see Acuna back in the lineup because I do think that'll help out at least Albies and obviously the guys who are already hitting well as well, Olson, stuff like that. I mean, Olson's obviously going to see better pitches if there's a guy on base. Acuna's always been a good on-base player, so that'll be more runners on base, everything. I'm excited for that. Real quick, before we keep going, we do have some ads. First up, Omaha Steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with the promo code DBSports at checkout. As Ross likes to say, this is a great Father's Day gift. Dads want steak, although I like to say daddies want meat. I don't understand the difference.
There's no functional difference.
No, daddies want meat. So go to omahasteaks.com. Use the promo code DBSports at checkout. This is let's keep it to the show. This is a home run Father's Day gift for your dad. Nobody's going to say no to a big box of meat. And they've got all the kinds of steak you would want, obviously. They've got smash burgers. They've got excellent chicken, excellent pork. What have you gotten from them recently?
Well, I've been eating... Yeah, I had some pork chops that were really good.
Yeah.
I make...
underrated cut of meat.
Yeah. Well, here, I make a pork chop. I make just a classic tomato sauce. I got a recipe when I was in Italy, like 2013, from this old Italian lady. And it's like just a very classic, fresh-tasting sauce. And I'd make that with pasta and pork chops.
Yeah.
And it's easy and it's the best every single time. I made that last week actually before I went on a trip. And then let's see, obviously the side steak for me is a go-to. So I like having a lot of steaks around too.
Just two different steaks on the plate at the same time. One a fattier cut, one a leaner cut.
Usually that's the case, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Like a fillet and a T-bone or something.
Usually I go ribeye or New York strip and a fillet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean a T-bone would be nice too because that's already got a fillet on it, right?
Oh yeah, true.
It's a fillet and a New York strip, I believe.
True. Makes
Or is
sense.
that a porterhouse? Is that the same thing?
I don't know. I don't know
not
a
a
lot about
scientist.
steak. I just know that Omaha Steaks is where I get my steak. That's all that matters to me. They've been going since 1917. They're America's original butcher. And again, they also have seafood and dessert. They really have everything.
I've got some of the desserts. I haven't tried any of them yet, though. They're in my freezer still.
I've had them before because my father-in-law gets me those for Father's Day. Actually, I believe Father's Day, not my birthday. For Father's Day, he does. And yeah, it's awesome. I've been getting Omaha Steaks as a Father's Day gift for like 3 years, and it's rad every time. So again, go to omahasteaks.com, get an extra $35 off with the promo code DBSports at checkout. You can see the site for details. Next up, we got mybookie.com. That's where we make all of our picks, including the picks we are about to make. Go to mybookie.com, use the promo code DrinkinBros to double your first deposit up to $1,000. You put in $1,000, you'll get $1,000. You put in 20, you'll get 20, anything in between, whatever. They'll match that first deposit. And then if you're a long time, not even that long, I think, but if you're a regular player on MyBookie.com, you're part of the MyBookie Plus rewards program. You get a bunch of cool stuff like special bets and rakebacks, which is my favorite, the rakeback program, where if you have a bad week or whatever, bad weekend or something, they'll toss you a little money back, say, hey, thank you for playing. Thank you for being a loyal customer to our little online casino here. Here's a little money back. Go have fun with it. I always say put it on parlays, but their blackjack is also excellent as well. They have a live blackjack casino. You're basically like playing over Zoom, to put it simply. Real dealers. It's not like a sketchy computer game or whatever. That's really fun. If you like blackjack, highly recommend checking that out. And there's usually always an open seat, so it's not super difficult to get onto. The live casino at mybookie.com is awesome. Again, promo code DrinkinBros will double your first deposit up to $1,000. All right, let's get into some picks for the weekend. Some interesting series. I don't think there's any necessarily slam dunk except for maybe Rangers, White Sox, and Yankees, Rockies, which should be fun, although it's in Colorado. The Rockies, by the way, I am really rooting at this point that they do not get to double-digit wins before the end of the month. I would like to see a single-digit win team in June.
I think they're probably going to oblige.
They've got 2 left to get to 10. 2 games left to get to 10, and probably, 10, 11 games to do it in. Probably 10 games to do it in. So we'll see if that happens, but they're doing gamblers a great service right now.
Yeah. So far.
I'm still angry that the Braves were one of their wins. Just outrageous. But
Taste it.
it is. Well, shut up. It is what it is. But yeah, I'll make picks for Friday's games. First up is the Brewers at the Pirates. Paul Skeens is going for the Pirates. He's 3-5 after pitching 9 innings of 1-run ball against the Phillies and losing the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a rookie come up and give up 0 runs. And he's not even good in AAA either.
He has since been recalled to AAA.
Yeah, because he stinks.
He did the job.
He did his job.
He did the job. That's all that matters. I'm taking the Brewers over the Pirates. Freddie Peralta is going for the Brewers, and he has honestly similar numbers to Skeens this year, at least in terms of ERA. Giants at Nats. Give me the Giants. They look great. The Giants are a fun story this year. I really like watching that team, especially since West Coast is a lot of the baseball I get to watch.
Yeah.
Because put my fucking kids to bed during the East Coast games. Next up, Dodgers at the Mets. Clayton Kershaw got smacked around in his first start. I'm going to take the Mets here over the Dodgers. Canning is going for the Mets. It's in New York. You might get plus money on that. The lines aren't out yet, but I like the Mets there as a good value pick. Rangers over the White Sox, no problem. Royals and Twins. It's at the Twins, so you might get good odds on the Royals here, and I'll take the Royals. Diamondbacks, Cardinals. You got Zach Gallen going against Miles Mikolas. Mikolas has actually not been horrific this year, but I'll still take the Diamondbacks. Yankees over Rockies, no problem. Phillies over A's. Wheeler's on the mound, no problem. So for the Friday games, Brewers over Pirates, Giants over Nats, Mets over Dodgers, Rangers over White Sox, Royals over Twins, Diamondbacks over Cardinals, Yankees over Rockies, and Phillies over A's.
Yeah, I'm going to do, excuse me, I'm going to do Saturday. Some good games. Royals over the Twins. I don't know if there'll be a dog or not. I doubt it, but.
The Twins, I think it's a 12 ERA going for them.
Yeah. And Waka's going for the Royals. He's been good all year. Giants over the Nationals. Verlander hasn't looked great, but Mike Soroka is Mike Soroka. And
R.I.P.
The Giant, Verlander will go 4 or 5 innings maybe, and then the Giants' bullpen's good.
It's the best in the National League, actually.
They're very good. So, I mean, they'll win that game probably in the later innings. So also keep an eye. If you're going to bet that game in the parlay and the Nationals get up, maybe go ahead and bet the live on the Giants because they do come back quite a bit, and their bullpen is very good. Red Sox over Orioles. The Orioles are all disheveled this year. They're probably the most surprising team of the year so far, how bad they've been.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
And Dobbins for Boston has been really good this year. Rangers over White Sox. Jack Leiter's going for the Rangers. He's been okay this year, but the White Sox suck. Yankees over Rockies. I'd take that any day, but especially when Max Fried's pitching.
That might be like minus 300 on the money line.
It probably will, yeah.
That's gonna be huge.
Yeah, betting it straight up won't make you any money, but
you can honestly in that parlay, I would just take the Yankees 1.5.
You probably could, yeah, if you really want to do it, because they're gonna. It's in Colorado. And the way the Yankees have been hitting lately, they may score 50 runs in that game.
I think.
I mean, the Rockies have already given up 20 twice this year, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think on that one, I wouldn't bother with the money line. I would just take the Yankees minus 1.5.
Yeah, that's probably fair. And then, Max Fried has had the benefit of pitching in Colorado throughout his career, so he knows how to pitch there. He's not going to get teed up. And then last but not least, Phillies over Athletics. Keep an eye on that one. I don't know who the A's, they don't have a starter lined up for it yet, but they've been pretty decent this year. Second most surprising team has been them, probably.
Horrible home record for the A's. 8-15 in Sacramento.
They're playing in a fucking child's ballpark, but Cristobal Sanchez going for the Phillies. He's been doing really well this year, and also their offenses look good recently, so that's a 6-game parlay. Probably get anywhere from depending on what these individual lines come in, anywhere from plus 800 to plus 2,000 maybe. Depends.
Yeah, depending. That's all I got for today on the Braves. Not a ton of news, just Strider coming back and being pretty mid for his second start of the year, I guess. But like I said, excited to see how he progresses. And, God, just get Acuna back into this lineup. Even Acuna at 75% improves this team quite a bit, I think. So, see how it goes. But for Dan Holloway, I'm Rob Fox. Go Braves.